So, you're brand new to manifestation, fresh off the press. First person you come across tells you,
Hey, every single bad thing you've ever experienced in your entire life, all that was your fault. Yep, you created all of that. When your boyfriend left you, when your cat died, when you got ran over by a bus, all that was your fault. Yep, your thoughts created all of that.
and you're looking at this person like, excuse me, come again? It's rough. It's rough coming to the realization that you are the sole creator of your reality. Everything you're experiencing started off as a thought form in that little brain of yours, in that noggin. You're like, how can I possibly be responsible for all the bad things that have ever happened to me? Do you think I wanted this horrible experience? I've been traumatized. What do you mean I created this? Do you really think I want this? So the two initial responses are usually,
You're a liar. No, I didn't. I've never created anything bad in my life. I don't even know what you're talking about. I just learned about manifestation. How am I responsible for all of this?
and two,
Oh my god, I'm responsible for all of this. This is scary. I can't control my thoughts. I don't even know what to do with this information. Now I am literally so afraid to think any thought ever. And if I do, then I might accidentally create the apocalypse.
okay, let's all collectively just take a big, everything's gonna be fine. Chapstick break, okay? I'm a little crusty, I'm a little ashy. It's fine. Much better. All right, let's get down to business. So coming to the realization that you're a conscious creator and that your thoughts are creating, it's a big one. It's a little bit of a doozy. And I'm not going to be the person to come to you and be like, it's okay, don't believe what they said, it's not true. Because it is true. Everything that you've created in your life up until this point was a product of your beliefs, your assumptions, your thoughts, and your state of being. Also, caveat, the collective consciousness does play a role. We will go in a different video about how large-scale world events get created and the role that we play on an individual basis in creating those big life events, because to say one person created a hurricane or one person caused a war is ridiculous. But also to say that you didn't play any part at all is untrue. We'll talk about that later. For the things that you have created in your life, for the negative circumstances that you have created in your life, taking responsibility for that is difficult. It can be very difficult. But the number one thing that I don't want you to do is blame yourself or feel guilty about the things that you've created in the past. There's no reason for you to feel guilty or to feel shame for anything, ever, whether you are conscious of it or unconscious. But the thing now to realize is that you've created these past negative circumstances in a state of unawareness. You were unaware that you had control over the things that were happening in your reality. You were unaware that that negative loop, that past experience that was horrible that you were replaying over and over and over again in your head was recreating you back into the exact same situation that you didn't want to be in the first place. You didn't know any better. So why would you blame yourself? There is absolutely no reason to blame yourself. But now you have been forewarned. Now you have been made aware. And as Neville Goddard would say, your power is in your awareness. Your awareness is your power. So now that you know, it's not like, ooh, tread carefully. You don't necessarily have to tread carefully, but when you gain new knowledge, you act accordingly. You created these situations in your past that you didn't like, unfavorable circumstances, fine. But the thing is, you manifested that, and you were pretty good at it. So all you really need to do is reverse the process and use it to manifest things you do like. No one to change but self does not mean that there is inherently anything wrong with you. There is an error in thinking. There is an error in the way that you are using the tools that you have been given. You have all the facilities and they are working flawlessly. You are the operator. You are giving the commands to your subconscious mind. You are telling your world who you think you are, what you believe, what you think about the people around you, what you assume about certain situations, and your subconscious mind's job is to fulfill whatever you believe to be true. So if you are feeding your subconscious mind a story that you don't like, and then you are seeing evidence of that story in your 3D, then let's go back to the root cause and not put band-aids over the 3D trying to mitigate a situation that was first created with you. Let's go to the source of the issue, go inside, and figure out how we can change this belief. It's pretty simple. There's no like, oh, I have to go through this subconscious reprogramming and I have to do all this shadow work and I have to do all this healing and I have to figure out which one of these beliefs need to be changed and how many limiting beliefs do I have and how long is this going to take. Literally, it's all laid out in front of you. If you see it with your eyeballs, it came from here first. It didn't just pop up out of nowhere. I promise you. There's a root cause for every single thing you have ever experienced and ever will experience. So if you're seeing it with your eyes, know that it came from within first. That is why there is no one to change but self. You are not going to change permanently anything in the 3D before you change you. Because even if you affirm, even if you repeat that I'm going to have this thing come to me in my experience, it's going to come either in a way that you didn't think it was going to come, or it's going to come and then it's going to go right back out. Okay? Because you have to be able to sustain this thing within your present identity, within your present reality. If you have something within you that's saying that this thing and me are not a match, we don't really go together like that, I mean, I want this thing, but I don't really think I can have it, then even if it does show up in front of you, it's like dangling something right in front of your face and being like, oh, you want this? You want this? It's right within your reach. It's right within your reach, but you can't grab it. It's like just out of your reach, but you can't have it. That's like really the extent that it's going to go. And that is not fulfilling. That doesn't feel good. What feels good is being like, of course, this thing and me go like this. It's easy for me to have this thing in my reality because I have a positive story about me in relation to this thing. Therefore, it is free to exist with me whenever it likes. We jive, we vibe, and then your subconscious is like, oh, word, bet, it's on its way. And then you just go about your business. There is no one to change but self. So when you see somebody reflecting to you something that you do not like, you don't go to that person and be like, hey, how dare you? You look at yourself in the mirror and you say, hey, how dare you? What is the thought process and the reasoning behind why we got here? Why are we here? What happened? You don't have to go back to your childhood, to those first early developmental stages of 0 to 7 and figure out when the very first time you had this experience was and you created this limiting belief. No, you see it right in front of you. You see evidence of what the belief is right in front of you. Deal with it from that point. It is the simplest way to go about it. Your reality literally gives you all the keys right in front of your face. So take that information. Don't disregard it. Don't be blind. Remember, you now have this newfound awareness. You can use it to your power and not to your detriment. So don't be scared of your own power. You've created great things. Sometimes great things are bad. There are bad people who have done amazing things. They have taken the power of their subconscious mind, the power of their belief, the power of their thoughts and their influence, and they have used it to create something very, very bad. Most of those people do that consciously. But now that you are conscious that you also hold this power and you can use it in any way that you choose to write a better story about your reality, choose to use this power to your benefit and not to your detriment. And then it's not an issue. And then you don't have to be scared of your thoughts. You don't have to be scared of what you're creating. You don't have to be scared of the beliefs that are hanging around in there, because you know, if I'm good on the inside, then everything outside of me is going to be just fine. I have a quote from Neville Goddard, who is like the source material on this topic, no one to change but self. And I just think that sometimes because Neville is so much the basis of this community, that we hear it so many times over and over again, and then it does the opposite effect of we're not taking it in anymore as repetition to reaffirm ourselves. It kind of just like goes right over our heads. We're like, yeah. No one to change but self. Everyone is you pushed out, And we just like don't really recognize that, like, no, remember, it's only you. Whatever is happening here, remember that it started in here. Okay, I want to read this quote to you because I understand coming to this fresh, and even if you're not fresh, hearing this for the first time, that everything that you've ever created is on you, that you are fully responsible for the things that you created, can be a hard pill to swallow, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Remember, your awareness is your power. There's no one to shift the blame to, but it doesn't need to be a blame game in the first place. Remember, you were unaware, you were unconscious, you didn't know any better. So it's not your fault. You're not bad for the things that you created in the past. But now that you know, take that awareness and take that power and go create something great with it. So Neville says, because consciousness is the only reality, I must assume that I am already that which I desire to be. If I do not believe that I am already what I want to be, then I remain as I am, and I die in this limitation. Man is always looking for some prop on which to lean. He's always looking for some excuse to justify failure. This revelation gives man no excuse for failure. His concept of himself is the cause of all the circumstances of his life. All changes must first come from within himself, and if he does not change on the outside, it is because he has not changed within. But man does not like to feel that he is solely responsible for the conditions of his life. Hard pills to swallow. It's true. As much as you don't like it, I mean, honestly, if you hear that and you're like, I don't like that, what you're actually saying is, I'm not responsible for my life. I'm not responsible for the things that I've created. This is everybody else's problem. This is everybody else's fault. People outside of me, conditions outside of me, some power outside of me is controlling all this and creating all of this. Therefore, I don't have to take any blame for this situation. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. First of all, not only is it not true, but who are you giving your power and authority away to? If it's not you, then who's controlling your life? Do you want somebody outside of you to have control over the things that you create, over the things that you experience? I feel like it's a perspective thing as well. Ultimately, it is a perspective thing. It's like, okay, you could look at it like, I have all this power and I don't know how to use it, therefore I'm scared of myself and I might create something bad. Or literally, I've been given such a great gift to know that I'm responsible for everything I create. I can create anything I want. Anything is changeable. This whole experience is coordinated by me and I get to do whatever the fuck I want. That's amazing. Now I'm gonna go and create $1 million or the man of my dreams or a vacation. Like, you literally could do whatever you want, but you have to remember that it's not something on the outside that's making you feel a certain way. It's not something that you see that's reflecting you and telling you who you can be. It's you doing that to the outside. It's you telling your reality who you are. It's you reflecting to other people, other situations, other things, what they are, what they're going to be. In every moment, you are choosing what you see in your reality through who you are being. And if you've been on this journey for a while, and if you are being the person who you say you want to be, and you are really going out and living in that feeling of being that person, identifying as that person, and it is not reflected yet in your reality, don't think that you are doing anything wrong and then go try to meddle in the 3D thinking that that is going to help things come faster or make things easier or you're helping things along. Doesn't need your help. Your subconscious mind doesn't need your help. Infinite intelligence doesn't need your help. God doesn't need your help. Anything that you are doing, poking your fingers where they do not belong, is just, it's like if you go into a spaceship, like your subconscious is literally like an alien spaceship, and you get up to the motherboard and there are all these blinking lights and all these buttons, and the alien, God, whoever owns the spaceship is like,
all right, it's on autopilot and it's voice command, so if you need anything, then just tell it what it is and it'll do whatever for you.
And you're like,
Oh, okay, bet.
so then you do it, you give it the command, but you don't feel like you're getting to where you need to be fast enough. You think that maybe, just maybe, there was an error in the programming and the supercomputer doesn't really know what it's doing, so maybe I'm just gonna go start pressing buttons and see if one of these makes what I want happen faster. I'm just gonna start pressing, even though I literally don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna do something because I can't just keep sitting here. It's like, no, the instructions were, this computer knows what it's doing. It goes on autopilot. If you need something, then just tell it and it will figure it out. You don't need to know anything else other than just sit there and wait. Just sit there and know that it's happening. Just sit there and trust that there are things happening in here that you don't understand. Nonetheless, they work flawlessly. So follow the instructions and everything will be fine. Some of us are not very good at following instructions. Trust me, I know firsthand experience. It's hard, but you have to remember there is no one to change but self. There is nothing outside of you that can determine who you are more than you can. You're the sole operator. You're the sole authority in your reality. And it doesn't have to be a blame game. You haven't failed anything. You shouldn't feel guilty. You shouldn't feel shame. You have been given this knowledge for a reason, because you are capable of holding it, because you're capable of doing great things with it. What do they say? What is this, a Star Wars quote? I've never seen Star Wars. Crucify me in the comments. But with great power comes great responsibility. Or is that a Spider-Man quote? Listen, I've never seen Spider-Man either. Probably shouldn't tell people that. Anyway, no one to change but self. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me today. I really hope you guys enjoyed and got something of value from this video. Be sure to leave your questions, comments, concerns in the comment box below, and check out the description for my services, social media links, all that good stuff is down below. And other than that, I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here, and I will see you next time.